So we'll start with defensive fire of the coalition half of the 920 turn. The only place we're engaged is Austerlitz. Still, we will take a look at what's going on over there. Much the same. We see the 2nd Battalion of the 108th has got itself into a little bit of trouble. Some skirmishers, Grenzers in the vineyard, so they'll take shots. So no luck for the French. No surprises there. So we'll move on to the offensive fire phase. Let's see, that is 4 increments. Finally, we get a good shot in. I think we have 4 as the general order fire factor plus 5 increments. So that is 1 casualty. Yikes. That is half of the increments lost. These losses are too severe. That triggers a morale check, but they stand tall. In the north end of the field, we see Bagration with 1 artillery company. So they could take a shot at the skirmishers. They could take a shot at Marshal Lannes there with just the hope of killing somebody. They're going to take a shot at these skirmishers. Not a very high probability. And they do not get a hit. Those are the only fires. But if we move on to the assault phase, we might think that Kienmayer has a decent shot with his Grenzers in the vineyard. But actually, that would be a pretty low odds attack. So we're going to wait, even though we don't have a lot of time. The 920 turn still gives us numerous turns to eject those battalions. So we're going to proceed to the end of the turn. No one to rally, no cavalry to recover. So we'll just do an overview of the state of affairs at the end of the 920 turn. Austerlitz is still being contested with some firefights. We see the reserve cavalry arriving. Friant's division is moving. Some Cossacks in the trees waiting to pounce on somebody. See the remaining regiments from Marshal Davout along with the artillery, which makes a nice target for the Cossacks so they can get there. Moving back towards Austerlitz, we see the coalition Austerlitz cavalry in a screening position mostly. Friant still arrayed along the Goldbach there, and in the pheasantry. We see Kollowrath has made some progress. moving up towards the Austerlitz. His artillery, his light batteries are moving up with him, but his position batteries, the real firepower, is lagging behind. If we move north, we can see Bagration and his third column are just about ready to engage that Saint Hilaire's division of Soult's Corps. They're trying to get their infantry in place, bringing up that artillery. Moving slightly further north, we see a third column, similarly trying to get into position, ready to engage Von Damme's division, with Marshal Soult closest to Von Damme there. See a division of French dragoons getting ready to cross the Goldbach. They could potentially be a real problem for the third column, since all they have are those pesky Cossacks. If we move a little further north, you can see the beginnings of the deployment on the Pratzen Heights. The Russian division, as well as the Austrians. Now, they don't plan on attacking. They want to be there to be more of a threat and get their guns in place. The Tsar and the Kaiser are still sitting on their little hillock. Coming back, we see the Life Guard cavalry and infantry starting to arrive. Liechtenstein's heavy cavalry is on its way, probably going to loop around the vineyard and try to position itself out here in this area so as not to allow the French too much mobility. Uvarov is still in the town. Bernard's 1st Division has mostly arrayed itself in squares there, with his light cavalry still screening. The rest of Bernard's men won't arrive for about an hour or so. There won't be tremendous movement there, just an effort to maneuver that cavalry out of the way. Now we see Lannes' corps lining up, getting ready to engage Bagration. Bagration is still in mostly a harassing position. His objective, of course, is just to draw as much attention as possible, and the French are doing just that. Of course, Napoleon already knows that, and he is not the least bit fooled. Sitting back here on the Santon. No French reinforcements this turn. Position in the north is slowly developing. So next turn, I think we will see a much heavier engagement here in the north. A little bit to attempt to push back Uvarov here, and likely some pretty strong engagement. If not Von Damme, certainly Bagration and Saint Hilaire. So the amount of time we spend actually playing and recording and commenting on the playing is probably going to decrease, because this is a pretty big battle. When we get engaged across the entire line, it's just going to take too long. So we'll focus on important engagements, cavalry engagements, melees, the odd firefight here and there, but otherwise we'll just recap any particular game played for a turn.